Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by Dylan Zaborowski, the head football coach at Brooklyn Columbia Central. How's it going?
Great, Casey. Thanks for having me back on, man. I appreciate you.
All right. So let's the summer went pretty well for you guys. So yeah, just recap this the last few months.
Yeah, I thought we used our 15 dates there really well. We had a couple camps. We did a few 7-on-7s here and there. Our numbers are as good as they've been since I've been here. This is going into my third year, and we've been really consistent with the numbers all summer. So excited about that, and just really really ready to get going now. Now we're in the dead week here, and kind of week off, enjoying that, but getting ready to go, no doubt.
Yeah. Uh, okay, so let's it's time to talk about some of the players that are returning for this team and some of the guys to watch for you guys this year. So talk about really where what this group is going to be like this year. Let's start with the offense, the defense, and then we'll go to special teams.
Yeah, so offensively, we return a few guys up front, which is going to be big for us, I think. Our O line, it kind of starts with those guys. We do throw the football a decent amount here and there, but if you can't run the football in high school football, you're probably not going to do too well. So we'll give some love to the big guys there. We returned Dylan Boone. He's going to be a junior for us, but he's been a all conference type kid. He's been up since his freshman year for us. He's a really good player. Shane Taylor, AJ Soto, Jacob Peckrell. So we kind of have four guys that either started last year or played a lot of time. Trying to find that fifth spot is going to be an interesting battle here the next 2 weeks. I think that's one of the few spots that we're still really looking to get guys to come out and compete for. Is kind of that fifth, sixth offensive line spot there. And we feel good about that. We have a few guys that are ready to do that too. So that's up front. Our quarterback position, we lost our starter last year, so we have two guys that have competed all summer, and it's going to go into camp too. So we have a senior, Nick Richardson, who played receiver for us, DB for us last year, really good athlete. We've had a really good summer, and then we have a junior, Connor Renfro, who is a really really talented kid. He hasn't played football since his eighth grade season, but he came out and he's been at everything all summer. He's been really consistent for us. And really one of the better athletes in our building. So we're excited that he's out and he's had a good summer. Our running back position, we returned two guys that got carries a lot last year that are both younger. So we have Blake Evans, who's going to be a junior. He'll get a lot of carries for us. And then Boston Plazinski, who's a sophomore and actually got carries on varsity last year as a freshman too. So, we feel really, really good about that spot. Two guys that are ultra competitive, super physical, and hopefully looking for them to kind of step into the limelight here and have a really, really good season, both of them.
Right.
Wide receiver wise, we got a few guys that are returning that played a lot. And that's one of the spots that for sure there's going to be a lot of competition at. We have a few guys coming up from JV that are really good. We have a few guys that played a lot as juniors that are talented. So that's going to be a spot that we're gonna battle at. I'll give a couple of the seniors here that played a decent amount. Jordan Cromwell, Christian Milliken, Peyton Denning. All three of those guys played a lot of snaps last year as juniors, coming back as seniors. We have a kid that's going to be a sophomore, Trent Troyer, who's had an unbelievable offseason. At 7-on-7s, he was almost unguardable at times. We're looking for him to have a huge year for us, no doubt. Julian Sims is a kid that's a senior that wasn't able to play last year, but is coming out for us this year. And he's had a good offseason, and he's a really talented kid too. So, we returned a lot of guys from that played a lot last year, but not necessarily that were, that jumped into the limelight, right? We didn't have a lot of guys that we lost a few seniors. We lost our starting quarterback. We lost our starting running back. We lost our starting receiver, but we have a lot of depth, and probably more depth than we've had since I've been here, which is a good thing. So now we just need to find the few guys that are going to take the leap this year.
Okay. Let's go to defense.
Yeah, defense. Kind of, I'll hit on some of the same guys, but We hired a new DC this year, so the kids are learning the scheme a little bit, and it's been a good off season. A little bit of learning, a little bit of installing some new stuff. Our D line guys, I'll give you a couple of them. AJ Soto is going to be a kid that'll play a little D tackle for us. That is extremely physical, probably the strongest kid on our team, biggest kid we have, and really good athlete for his size. So we're looking forward to him having a huge year. Then Dylan Boone as well on the D line. He's a kid that plays kind of both O line and D line, but he definitely caused some problems in the backfield there at D line. We return a couple linebackers that had playing time last year. Blake Hoskins is going to be one of our middle backers. Big kid, physical, looking for him to have a huge year. He was all conference type kid last year. And then Shane Taylor as well. He'll be playing a little bit of outside backer for us. Um, both kids really talented football players. And DB is kind of like wide receiver. It's the same, same kind of group ish of kids. The DBs were going to be deep. We have a lot of guys that I would feel comfortable throwing out there out on the field. And at the end of the day, we're going to need a couple of them to step up and see who's going to take the playing time and who wants to seize the time there. So excited to watch that battle, no doubt.
Absolutely. Okay, so special teams.
Yeah. Special teams, we return our punter. Blake Hoskins punted for us last year. He's a kid that plays tight end and linebacker for us, but got a pretty darn good leg on him too. So he does a little bit of everything for us. He's our punter. Our kicker, we had a couple guys that'll probably compete for that. If I had to pick one right now, a kid named Cole Edmonds. He plays soccer, he plays football. So he's a kid that kind of does a little bit of both, and he kicks it really well. And towards the end of the year last year, he was doing most of our kicking duty. So we return a few guys that are pretty important there that we feel good about.
All right. Okay, so we've talked about the kids. Now let's go through, let's talk about the upcoming schedule for you guys.
Yeah.
Of course, the begins on the 29th, home against Adrian Madison, and then September 6th at Grass Lake, September 13th at Napoleon, September 20th at home against Addison, September 27th at Vandercook Lake, October 4th at Jonesville, October 11th home against Homer, October 18th at Hanover Horton, and the last game of the regular season, October 25th. That, of course, is the Cascades crossover game.
Yeah.
So just this is the first year in the Cascade. Well, last year was, but now in year two, and really now everything's solidified. Now, what's it going to be like playing in year two of this conference?
Yeah, it's going to start off week one against Adrian Madison, who I tell our kids and I tell everybody that I talk to, their record is not, I don't think, super reflective of who they were last year. They were a talented football team. They only won, one or two games there, but they play in one of the toughest leagues in the state, and we're gonna have our work cut out for us week one again, no doubt. So we'll have to be ready to go for that one. Then we get kind of right into conference play. So we have Grass Lake and Napoleon. Grass Lake, Napoleon, Addison are our next three, and Grass Lake is probably on paper, the most or one of the most talented teams in our league. We didn't get to play them last year, so that'll be a new game for us that we're looking forward to. Those first few weeks here, we're gonna have our work cut out for us. We really will. Napoleon is a big rivalry game for us, so they are about 5 minutes down the road. School about the same size as us. We compete against them in football, basketball, baseball. Always usually super competitive, and they've won that game the last few years, and I know our kids are ready to win that one and try to get over the hump and get a win against those guys. And then the rest of the league there, we play in the West Division, so after those first three games, we get into our West Division play. With Addison, Vandercook, Jonesville, Homer, Hanover. And truthfully, I think if you were to ask a lot of the coaches in our league, I believe our west side of the conference is pretty wide open. I really think that, you have a lot of teams in there that are competing that think they have a pretty darn good chance to win that side of the conference. And, we're no different. We think that too. That's always going to be our goal since we joined the league. I told, you know, the kids, we talk about it, that we should expect to win the West every year. And last year, obviously, we fell a little bit short of that, but looking forward to a little bit of a bounce back year and getting back to competing for championships here at Columbia Central. So Jonesville's a team that last year, they got us um, third to last week there. Bit of a tough loss that I know we were pretty frustrated about. Addison will be interesting. They got a whole new coaching staff, so they're a team that's been kind of a staple in our conference for the last 5 to 10 years here with Josh Lindeman. They've been really, really good. They win a lot of ball games. They got a brand new coaching staff, so it'll be interesting to see kind of what they're doing, and if things stay kind of the same there. So yeah, the league is wide open, and we're looking to compete. We're looking to compete for a West Conference championship, and then eventually, hopefully, that leads us into a actual Cascades championship there with the crossover game. So
Yep. All right. So what is really this week's not a lot's going on, but just
yeah,
go into what the next few weeks are going to be like once the 12th begins.
yeah. So this week's dead week. We there'll be a lot of people out. They're still lifting. They're still doing some stuff kind of behind the scenes this week. We try to give them the week off and let them recover a little bit. That way, when camp comes here on Monday, we are ready to go. We got everybody bought in and ready to go. Um, we go away for camp actually the first few nights. So first few nights we spend at a camp. The kids all get together. The coaches, we're all staying the night there the first few nights, and it's really a cool kind of team bonding deal, as well as, hey, we're getting a lot of football done too, right? We're getting to meet a lot. We're together with all of our guys all night, talking football. So it's really a fun couple days that we're looking forward to. Then just leading into the scrimmage week is it's kind of just building, stacking good days kind of on top of each other and making sure we're ready to go come scrimmage week and then come week one. So the first week or two here are always crazy busy, kind of a grind, but it's something that I think the players and I know the coaches certainly look forward to as well. So
All right. Well, Dylan, thanks so much for the time as always, and best of luck to you guys this season.
absolutely, thanks, Casey. Appreciate you.